Geiger along with Neil Rudel just finished up with the blue-white game, the first blue-white game of the Bill OBrien era, and the score was 77-65 in favor of the defense. It was a crazy scoring system, which made things interesting, but your overall thoughts about the way Bill OBrien and his staff handled everything today and just kind of getting this first step of the new era underway?
Well, I continue to be impressed with him. I think everything he says all the right things. Get real sure of what he wants to do. I mean, they said that maybe we saw less than 10% of the playbook today, and of course, you know, with the exposure of a spring game, you're not going to show that much. But I thought, you know, I thought the quarterbacks had their moments. In particular, McGloin and Jones. I'm intrigued by Jones' potential.
And I'll follow up on what Neil said. I talked with Dave Joyner, the AD, yesterday, and he said he thought Bill OBrien has exceeded expectations so far since taking over the job 3 months ago, and I would totally agree with that. The guy has hit a grand slam at every step of the way, and he's going to be going on this coach's caravan tour here in a few weeks, so I don't think the guy could have handled everything any better so far. Back to what we saw today with the quarterback situation, is it still basically Matt McGloin and then a pretty big drop to everybody else?
I would say probably. You know, Bolden, for as much experience as he has, I'm not sure that he. I thought he'd play a little better, actually, based on how much he. You know, Jones, we haven't seen. You know, he has a strong arm, and he's elusive also. He missed some open people, but he really hasn't played in a real competitive situation in almost a couple of years. Now, I don't know about how much of the first-team defense he was going against, so that may have been a factor as well, but I thought he was intriguing.
Everybody's favorite player is always the backup quarterback, and Paul Jones is the one unknown of the three, so I've gotten the sense that a lot of people kind of root for Paul Jones in this because they think he can be better than McGloin and Bolden. What I saw from Jones was some elusive footwork. He got out of pressure, and he's got some pretty good awareness in the pocket, and then he just chunks the ball 50-55 yards downfield just with a flick of his wrist, so you can clearly see the strong arm. Now, he was overthrowing those guys by 4 and 5 yards, but if he can get some accuracy, Neil, he does look like he's got the package to play well.
Oh, I think absolutely. But I think McGloin is your constant. You know what you're going to get with him. He's the most experienced. He seems to be able to make throws, read defenses, just more field awareness. I would be surprised if he's not the starter.
Do you think that both Jones and Bolden are still here in the fall?
I would think. I mean, I'm not sure where. Bolden could go somewhere maybe closer to home, you know, but he sounded after the game like I had asked him about, you know, his status the last couple of years, and he said, you know, that was, as far as he was concerned in the past, you know, he's bought into this and he's looking forward to improving, and so he wasn't sounding as uncertain, but who knows what the summer brings with an uncertain quarterback situation for the backups.
Strength of the team will be the front seven on defense. Bill OBrien said he loves the front seven, and obviously with Larry Johnson and Ron Vanderlinden, you have consistency there, and the front seven's been good here for a long time. Silas Redd didn't play much today. He said that it's not because of any tendonitis that he's been suffering from. He's okay, but there's really no need to play Silas much, and I loved the fact that they threw to the tight ends a handful of times. And we think that's what they're going to do because that's what the Patriots do a ton. But to see Gary Gilliam and Jesse James get some balls thrown their way leads you to believe that we're going to see a lot of that in the fall.
Yeah, and they don't have that many really experienced wide receivers. I mean, Justin Brown, you know, they moved Belton to running back, so that's it. Moved Drake to defense, so that's an unknown area, so they may have to throw to the tight end, and that may help get whatever they're playing at wide receiver open a little bit better.
And I'll be honest with you, to me the most intriguing thing I found out after the game was talking to Matt McGloin, how much audibling they're going to do this year. Matt McGloin told me, and we'll have this kind of extensive in the Altoona Mirror on Sunday, Matt McGloin told me there might not have been 5 audibles all last year. The plays were called. That's what the quarterback was going to run. I don't think the coaching staff trusted the quarterbacks a whole lot to be able to make changes, so those were the plays. McGloin said you'll see 5 audibles on a series now, and McGloin said that in this system, and you see it with the Patriots, and you see it with the teams like the Colts, the quarterback has to make the right decision immediately, read the defense, and that to me is the biggest overall change I think we're going to see.
Sure, and Bolden and McGloin are that much more experienced. I mean, Bolden was starting over half the games last year. So I'm sure there was a trust factor. A, you weren't sure how long he was going to stay, and B, you weren't, he was still a young quarterback.
All right, well, we finished with the blue-white game. We've got the summer. Bill O'Brien will be out speaking to a lot of places around the state and around the Northeast, really. But, again, just impressed with him, with how he's handled everything so far.
And I would think, a lot of these coaches have come in and seen the interest. There was a real buzz in the stadium today. It almost felt walking in like it was a regular season game with the kind of roar in the parking lot and whatnot. So I think people are anxious to get on with the O'Brien era. And I would have to think that when he saw and his staff saw all this interest, there must have been 150 people in the media room.
All right, for Neil Rudel, I'm Cory Geiger. Thanks for tuning in.